Hey guys, welcome to Mercedes-Benz of Lindon. This is Jesse, the AMG guy over here with Steve Ward. We wanted to bring a really cool and very unique vehicle to us. We're extremely excited about it. It's probably the hottest car that we have right now. We actually picked up a lot of cool accolades. We had the 2015 Sedan of the Year with the C-Class. We had the 2015 Car of the Year with the C-Class. We have the 2015 Sports Car of the Year with the all-new AMG GTS. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar about this. There's been quite a bit of hype about it, so you've probably done your homework and are pretty excited about it, as we are. Now, this is going to be a vehicle that replaces our outgoing SLS. For many of you that know about the SLS, that was the first production vehicle that we kind of kicked Mercedes-Benz out of it a little bit, and we really let AMG and the Formula One team go to work with it and really make their own designs, and really introduce the racing heritage and DNA into these vehicles. So this will be the second attempt at that, and I think that I love the SLS, but I think that with this AMG GT, it's even better. I can't believe how good of a job that they've done. I'm completely surprised and impressed. I think the body lines are absolutely immaculate. The car's drop dead sexy from every angle, which is really hard to do on a lot of them, and I think they've absolutely knocked this one out of the park. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we have going on with the new AMG GTS. We'll start up here in front. This is typically where most people want to get really involved anyhow. So, really cool new side skirts. Right off the bat, you'll notice how long the nose is. We'll get to that reason why for that here in just a few moments. But we've got the nice V8 bi-turbo badging that's built into the little side grills here. Helps expose some of the engine heat coming out of the car. Forged 19-inch wheels, so we'll run a 19 on the front, we're going to run a 20 in the back. You'll recognize the very large red AMG 6-piston brake calipers, a very large cross-drill perforated brake rotor. There will be 15.4 inches, again wrapped around that Michelin Pilot Sport. That's a 19-inch forged wheel on the front. Some really cool technology that we're going to debut on the GTS that we'll start seeing coming down the lines on the other one. We've got this new multi-beam all-LED headlight, which obviously we're running LED lights on a lot of our other cars. However, for the AMG, we've got these little individual LEDs down here that will double up as a high beam and a low beam. And what that allows us to do is really give you the best lighting conditions, whether you're out on the racetrack or driving around town. So we can tie these lights into the camera up in the front, and allows us to be able to phase and transition the light depending on the situation and what's going on. So if we need to give you more light because there's nobody around or we're in traffic, we can actually phase that to help kind of see around the cars, and really just taking the next level of active lighting and bringing it to the stage. Taking a look at the front, obviously you'll notice it's very low to the ground, it's very long, it's very pronounced, it's almost straight up and down, which gives it just this very extremely aggressive look, which is really, really cool. Keeping our racing heritage alive, very similar to the original 300 SL. Big single blade. I love the new little AMG plaques that they're putting in the grills. And then obviously with this one is something that we don't have on the other ones. We've got the cool little diamond grill. It's going to be a black diamond grill instead of the chrome diamond that we're used to on the CLS or the CLA Concept Coupe. Big twin mounted intercoolers that are going to be right up underneath the headlights. So as this thing's coming up behind you, I mean, you just see how aggressive this thing is, and it just literally screams, move out of the way, because I'm going to eat you. So really, really cool car. They've done an absolutely fantastic job with it. Let's get to the heart of the motor on this GTS, the heart of the vehicle on this GTS. So I'm going to put this hood up in the service position, and that really allows us to take a look at how far back the engine actually sits in the front of this car. So if you look at the top of the hood, all the way down to where this heat shield is, I would say that's a good solid 3.5 feet of where the motor actually sits in the car. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes. So this is our M178 motor. It's a fairly new motor for us. A lot of F1 technology, really, really cool stuff. High pressure direct fuel injection allows us to, and with the multi-spark, allows us to put more fuel into the engine. We can spark multiple times to make sure that we itemize and burn all of it. And then it's obviously forced induced. What's unique to the forced induction is these brand new twin turbos. So these turbos are formulated in what we call our new hot V motor. So traditionally your turbos are going to be mounted on the outsides of the engine block, and the intake will be up here on the top. So we've essentially just reversed that, where we've mounted the turbos in the valley of the motor. Allows us to keep this more compact because, again, EPA standards, CAFE regulations, guys, we've gone to a 4-liter V8 instead of our big 5.5 or the outgoing SLS, which is a 6.3. Obviously, the room and the constraints that we have, we would never be able to fit that in here. So how do we produce the same kind of performance, horsepower, torque in much smaller engine configurations? And this is essentially how we've done it. It's extremely brilliant. The way that we've designed the turbos and the exhaust with being in the middle of the motor, there's no turbo lag. These things spool so quickly. It's absolutely unbelievable. So really cool stuff. Also, another interesting note, just like on the SLS, we've got our big air boxes here, and that's also dry sump. So essentially there's no oil pan. So we pressurize the oil system so you're under the hard cornering, heavy G forces. We make sure that this engine stays lubricated so we're not producing any damage to the vehicle. So really, really cool stuff. A lot of active aerodynamics are being taken place underneath here to help heat and cool these turbos and draw the heat and moisture away from this type of an area. Something else that's new that we're running on these ones right here, right in this corner, is a brand new lithium-ion battery. It's extremely lightweight. Obviously, a performance car. This car is weighing in just a little over 3,600 pounds. We want to cut this down. This battery here weighs about, Mercedes-Benz says 20 pounds. We've actually picked a couple of these up, and they're right around 9 pounds. It's actually unbelievable. Our traditional battery is right around 35 pounds. Really, really cool stuff. So I'm gonna walk back over here with Steve and just kind of take a look back and just show you the proportion of why this hood is so long from some of our other vehicles. So obviously we're gonna see where the front wheels are running at, and then we're gonna take a look at where the motor is actually sitting. What this allows us to be able to do is it allows us to be able to achieve that perfect weight distribution that everybody sought after, which is a 47-55 split. So this allows us to keep all of the weight of the vehicle exactly where we want it, improves handling, and improves the performance of the vehicle. So that's one of the reasons why this hood is as long as it is. Really, really cool stuff. Again, only can be achieved with the AMG technology. Obviously, they've done a brilliant, brilliant job with it. We do have a new mirror style, which is really cool. Very much like F1 technology. So it's got this new little blade. It helps cut the air as it's going over the car, reduce the wind noise, as well as better the aerodynamics and overall looks and aesthetics of the vehicle. This particular GTS is fitted with the panorama roof. You can get an optional carbon fiber roof. A lot of people are really liking the panorama roof. Being a coupe just feels a little bit more, helps feel a little bit more open. Traditional fuel filler cap is going to be on the passenger side of the vehicle. Again, coming back, so we do have that unique offset to kind of give that car that little more aesthetic and aggressive look with the 19s in the front, the 20s in the back. Again, a 14.2-inch cross-shield perforated rotor in the back with a 4-piston caliper. One of my absolute favorite angles of this vehicle is from looking at it from behind. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love the flowing lines. Everything is just ties right together. It's just, the car looks like it's flexing as it's going down the road, and even as it just sits here on the showroom floor. The taillights are just so slim. It's something that we're not used to seeing at Mercedes-Benz. We're used to seeing big, bulky squares. These are slim, they're long, they're sleek, absolutely beautiful. So again, all LED technology on that as well. This is, so being the GTS, a little more horsepower, electronically limited rear slip differential. If I can spit that out, I'll get it out for you. But really cool stuff. So, and then again, the AMG, so that would be the actual model of the car. Parking sensors are going to be in the front and the rear of this one. It is going to get a backup camera. Going back into some of the aerodynamics of the vehicle, we'll notice I put this this rear spoiler up. So this is going to double as a rear spoiler, very much like on the SLS, as well as the SLR McLaren when we were building it, and an air brake. So depending on how hard we're brake forcing, we can put this up straight, give us more downforce, and again, more downforce over the back of the car as we're reaching top speeds. Top speed on this one is limited at 193, so the car is absolutely capable of reaching over 200, but we do limit that at 193. So as we're coming around to the side of the car, you can just kind of see just the long, sleek looks of it. It does have blind spot assist. And again, going back into some of that uniqueness between on the GTS with the engine being so far back in the car, obviously we don't have room for a traditional transmission. So that we actually have a transaxle, so the transmission is actually built into the rear axle of the vehicle. So we connect that with an aluminum torque tube to keep up our structural rigidity and toughness, and then it's filled with a carbon fiber torque, basically a torque shaft. So we connect those two. So all of our transmissions and everything is just built right into the back of the vehicle, which is really cool. Again, staying with that SLS Formula One racing technology. A lot of cool active safety features, obviously electronically dampening the suspension, blind spot assist. We can do it with optional Distronic and the radar cruise control systems. We can get some cool performance dynamics packages where we can get active engine mounts and active transmission mounts, so that again, as we're under hard acceleration, hard braking going around the corners, it keeps the whole powertrain nice and flat. So the car really feels like, as they would say, handles on rails. You make a turn, and it's absolutely fantastic. I did have a chance to drive one of these. It's really unique because it's one of those cars that will, you're driving the car, you're thinking about what you want to do, and the car just does it. And it almost does it before you're thinking about doing it. So it's very predictive, and it's an absolute dream to drive. Beautiful exhaust note. All of the GTSs, we can put them in, they've got this dynamic select, so we can change up comfort, sport, sport plus. We can tailor an individual mode. We've actually got a little button on the inside that we'll show you here in just a few minutes that we can push and essentially bypass the mufflers and just open the exhaust up. It's absolutely unbelievable what they've been able to do with this car. So anyhow, again, another quick look at the exterior of the all-new GTS. I don't think that I've seen a better looking car in a long time. So with that being said, we'll get repositioned, and we'll actually show you the inside of the vehicle. We'll close down the hood and show you what the inside of the car looks like here in just a few moments. Again, as Steve's going just past the front, I mean, you're taking a look at how aggressive the headlights are, how pronounced the nose is in the grille and the big single blade, the big open ports for the twin intercoolers, the little air splitter down on the bottom. That even though it's not a whole lot, but just the difference in the offset between the 19s in the front and the 20s in the back, how it just kind of gives the car just that unique aggressive stance. And just the overall how long the front nose is compared to the rest of the car. When you're staring at it, it almost looks a little bit abnormal, but then your eyes keep wandering to the back and how bulbous the back is and how it just got these big broad shoulders, and then it all just kind of ties together and it just makes sense. You know, it's amazing what these designers were able to do with this vehicle and how they're able to transform some pieces of aluminum and turn it into something like this. It's really incredible. So we're inside the all-new AMG GTS. So Steve and I are going to bring out and show you a couple of cool, unique things. So this one's fitted with the black Nappa leather, also with the two-tone silver pearl, which is a little bit unique. It's got a little sheen to it. I actually really like it myself. It's just a little bit different than what we're used to. And anything that's different than what we're used to, especially with Mercedes-Benz, is always unique and awesome. The Burmester surround sound system is going to be standard in this car. I believe there's 12 speakers in here. It sounds absolutely fantastic. And again, it's just really going back to when we launched the S-Class. Just the overall fit and finish is just absolutely dynamite. Everywhere your eyes look, everything's fit, everything's refined. The finish is just unbelievable. This one does have the carbon fiber inlay, which is absolutely beautiful. We've got this beautiful carbon fiber piece around the AC ducts. And then again, we go back to that 12-inch freestanding screen that will be right up here on the top. That's all LED, that will highlight our navigation programs, all of our radio programs, and different things like that. We'll have the full multimedia. We're talking about a race car that has heated seats, air conditioning, a heater. We can do air fragrance. We've got backup cameras. We've got Bluetooth audio streaming. USB power points. I mean, anything that you would want to have in this car, you will absolutely be able to get it, which is really cool. So kind of over here in the instrumentation, we do have new instrumentation. On the left hand side, we've got a beautiful speedometer, 0 to 220. On the rev counter over here on this side, we're redlining it right around 7,000 RPMs with this 4-liter. Brand new AMG steering wheel, very much like the SLS. We've got the dynamic suede grips on the bottom, flat bottom here. Our steering wheel position indicator right here on the top. Very large aluminum paddle shifters. We've got a downshift and an upshift. And then our traditional Mercedes-Benz technology with the multifunction 4.5-inch display for running all through the multifunction steering wheel. So really cool stuff there. Again, AC ports. All these little areas will slide open. We've got actually decent cup holders in here. This center stack is absolutely dynamite. The center stack on this thing is unlike anything else I've ever seen in my entire life. It is beautiful. It houses our gear selector, which will be way back down here on the bottom. So it's got this little drive indicator where we put it into drive, into reverse, and then a push button for the park. We can adjust for our, it's probably a little bit tight for Steve over here in the passenger side seat, but we've got our exhaust button. We've got automatic start stop. We've got manual mode for the transmission. We can turn the volume up and down and turn our power on. We've got individual mode, comfort, sport, sport plus, and race modes. Where this particular vehicle has dual clutch transmission in the back, we can actually enable these clutches. This car can achieve a 0 to 60 time in right around 3.6 seconds. Obviously, our engine start stop, how it lights up red and really catches your eye. Our traction control buttons, and then our suspension buttons here. And if that wasn't enough, then we come back and tie it into all the cool latest technology that Mercedes-Benz has received all of our accolades for. We have this beautiful little touchscreen, or this little touchpad. So we can select this touchpad to engage our navigation programs, or we can turn on our different radio programs. We can pull up our vehicle settings, all with this touchpad. For those of you that don't like the touchpad, we have kept the traditional command wheel so we can adjust for the wheel. Or we've got full voice control. I can press a button in the steering wheel, navigation, and it takes us right straight to our navigation. So a little bit of redundancy like Mercedes-Benz traditionally does, but the layout is absolutely dynamite. It's beautiful. Center console will open. In here we've got an ignition lock point, so if we are valeting the car or anything like that, we make sure that nobody can get in and rally the car. SD card slots, 2 USB power points, and an additional 12 volt power point. So we've got some really cool stuff here. Obviously, again, the AMG Auf-Alterbach crest that will be right here in the center console as well. While we're kind of pointed into the back, we'll kind of take a look at, so we've got the full Recaro race seats. We've got the pneumatics in the sides of the seats down on the lap, and as well as the backrests. They're all power, both 10-way, both forward and backwards. Being the GT concept, we've actually got quite a bit of trunk room, which we can show you. And then we've got this really cool crossbar. We can do this in a couple of different finishes. This actually does tie into the rear suspension and helps transfer some of the load from side to side, and gives the car a little bit better handling, So really cool stuff. The headliner is gonna, again, with the AMGs, it's gonna be done in the all suede. So everything again it's touched. It's the perfection is all there, and they've done a brilliant job. Automatically dimming lights or mirrors. We've got blind spot assist in the outside with the windows being just a little bit shorter, but overall the car's just absolutely dynamic. Something that will be, after Steve shows you the mirror on that, in fact, I can make it so we can, that little, should be able to get the blind spot lights on. There we go. So we'll have a little blind spot monitoring action right there in the outside mirrors. That really allows us to make sure we're safe as we're going down the highway. Something that will be a little bit unique to you new AMG owners in the GT is I'll actually have Steve pan back just a titch, and right up here on the top. So this is something that's a little bit different that we're not used to. We did have an overhead console in the SLS, but it didn't have any of these things in here. So our heated seats are actually going to be in the top instead of down here on the side with this new center stack. Our parking sensors will be up here. Our hazards will be up here. And this is our button to actually control, if we choose to, the rear spoiler. So in other words, if we just let it run on normal, it'll automatically adjust on its own, or we can manually control it from here. So this would be something that's just a little bit different. The panorama roof does have a shade, so we can close the shade. It's still sheer, so we can see out of it really nicely. Still emits a little bit of light into the car. So, but yeah, I mean, this is the inside of the all-new GTS, and just absolutely brilliant, beautiful car. Now, this particular vehicle is sold. However, we do have a couple of allocations for a couple of additional vehicles. So if you are interested, as always, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We really look forward and aim to take care of you guys any way that we can, whether it be selling you a car here locally. We'd love to have you fly in. We can demo some of these cars for you, and then we can get you back out to the airport, or if you wanted to drive the car home. If you don't want to come out to the dealership, Steve and I can absolutely arrange the transportation, arrange the paperwork, and we can actually just have the car drop shipped right to your door. And we can just kind of take care of everything via email, phone, or text. So we try to do everything that we can to be just as smooth and seamless and as professional as possible. We know that this is going to be a vehicle that you're going to love. talking a little bit about the SLS and the new GTS. Guys, our SLSs used to be in that 200 to 230 range, depending on your options. Guys, this car starts at $129,000, so we're able to get these things depending on the options you put. They're all running right there in that middle 140s, so bang for the buck. I mean, this is probably by far one of the best sports cars that money can buy right now. The overall design, the fit and finish, again, the technology of the vehicle, I really think that it's second to none. So really a beautiful car. So if there's anything that we can do for you, answer any additional questions that we might not have touched on the video, please don't hesitate to reach out to either myself or Steve. You can reach me at 801-222-4426. You can reach Steve Ward at 801-222-4412. And again, we're down here at Mercedes-Benz of Lindon. We appreciate you guys tuning in to watch these videos. This is Jesse, the AMG guy, down at Mercedes-Benz of Lindon with Steve Ward. And we'll look forward to bringing you a new video on that soon. Thanks, guys.